All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:33. It is July 20th. It is Thursday. Thursday is one of my favorite days of the week. Hopefully, it's one of yours. Look at disclosure. Let's get to it. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to the 6:30 Club. It's 6:33. Hopefully everyone's feeling well, having a good week, piecing it together. We did have a bunch of tech earnings yesterday that kind of underwhelmed. Revenue little shortfalls with an indice up almost 40%. Usually that's a little recipe for a bit of a corrective move, which we'll get into. As far as the S&P futures, down a little bit, shows how the market's broadened out. So we'll see what today brings. Anyway, let me say a little hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who's tuning in? Yeah, we got It's in the house, front and center. We got Connecticut. We got Nebraska, Texas, Cowhand. How you doing, buddy? Who else we got? Where is Spain? Going to Spain, by the way, end of August. Let's see, my friend Marco is helping set up the whole trip. What up, Texas? I'm a little late, so let's get to it. So here you go. Take a look at the Qs. The Qs are the ETF for the tech sector. Yesterday had a little bit of a selling of the strength. It kind of felt as if lately getting some real big push through, final squeezes, failures versus closing on the dead highs. So it got me a little cautious. I know on Twitter, a lot of people are like, Red Dog, make a call. And I'm like, you know what? I think maybe this 387.98 could be the summer top, but it's way too early. So what did I do? I'm short a little Qs as a hedge instead of the SPYs. And I also sold some Qs premium higher, and I also got stopped out of some of my risk yesterday. So if you look here at the Qs right now, the Qs, sorry. We don't need this up here, sorry. Right now we're at 383.35. Not a big deal. So for today, okay, the way I would look at it is, does it reclaim 384.30, or does it stay below, and then does it want to see the 8-day? We're not even testing the 8-day. Everyone's like crying, oh my God, the tech's going to correct, it's going to crash. I'm like, here's the 8-day. We're just extended. You're allowed to pull back to the 8-day, let alone you have two unopened gaps. One right here at 375.47 and another. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, 379-ish. But in order to see 379-ish in the sessions ahead, it's got to stay below 384.30. So anyway, you look at the size of this move in the Qs, and it's been awesome. I know for me, I love when tech is in play. I love, when the market's led by even the big seven, and you had this huge cup and handle pattern, and then you had this little downtrend break there, and it's been a tremendous active sequence. So at this point, we'll see, does it stay below 384.30, and do we test the 8-day? The way what you want to look at, you want to see, Netflix and Tesla. Do they make a low in the first 5-15 minutes and you could trade against it and then fill a lot of that gap? Or does, it opens up down there, the market rallies a little bit and it can't rally, and do they both trend down all day? That's one thing to think about. Or do they isolate the weakness to Tesla and Netflix and, do other groups, even other tech stocks, kind of blow it off? So those are some initial thoughts. Here's the SPYs. SPYs also, huge cup and handle type pattern that had a tremendous move. If you look close up here, here's your high, 456.43. Look where the 8-day is. This is where yesterday's low is, which we're actually above it. What is this? This is 554.11. So that was the prior high. So now we'll see what happens here. Can the Qs hold 554.11? That'd be pretty impressive. That would get the shorts to really pull their hair out. That the market can't even go below that. The SPYs are down a whole 12 cents. So you can see obviously, the tech's a little bit weaker than the SPYs because you have that weakness in Netflix and Tesla to start, and a little bit of the IBM, etc. So we'll see what that leads to. As far as the rotation has been awesome. I listed the chart of the IWM in June, saying where we could probably go to 196 to 199. And if you look at the IWM, it's been super strong. A little bit of a doji yesterday. Where did it get to? Got as high as 197.66. Alexa off. 197.66. That is yesterday's high. It also, everything's kind of extended from the 8-day. That's why, a strong trend follows the 8-day. That's why I say when it's above the 8-day, you want to be a buyer of dips and you want to look for strong stocks. You don't want to be looking to short things. But anyway, but when you get extended from it, you just want to be careful with your sizing. So you can almost move this up to here. And if you remember the weekly chart I've showed you so many times, it cleared this 189 and it's right in the zone. This was the zone that I said 196 to 199. It's right there. So if you wanted to take some profits, this has been the language, be my guest. Sometimes you get in here, and let me just say, if it gets in here and kind of pauses and builds up like a bull flag within here, wow, would that be explosive? We've had so many different flavors of this market. I was on Fox Business yesterday and we were talking about, March, the market was led by like Apple and Netflix and Nvidia. And then, in April and May, you had like you had Amazon and Google play catch up. And that's when Tesla started its great sequence. And then in June, you had the small caps, you had some energy names, some industrials, and then, recently it's been the banks. So there's been lots of ways to, to just, rotate and look for setups. And I think most traders are having success doing that. Remember 2 days ago, I'm like, guys, this Bank of America could play big time catch up. For me, it was actually a really big trade. Going into the numbers, I basically, I bought the $31 calls for like 18 cents. And then on this down day, when JP Morgan was sold kind of into the number, I bought more at 13 cents. And yesterday, the stock not only hit 31.40 at 31.70, and those things were like 80 cents. That's a nice, big move. I actually, let's see, I sold a bunch. I still have a bunch, and I still have the stock. All right, it's not changing. What did I say, 31.70? And I was pretty adamant. People were yelling at me, "Oh, Bank of America playing a lagger. What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, guys, JP Morgan, I know it's best in breed, but it's already making new February highs. I'm like, that's 37 for Bank of America. I'm not looking for 37, which would just be the February highs. I'm looking for maybe a move to the 200-day, which it went through. So either which way, I think you could still stay with this. Obviously, JP Morgan is the leading bank. Remember before July 4th when I was going to the Catskills, I'm like, I saw this igniting bar. I'm like, I'm buying options here for like 70 cents because this level, looked like you can get taken out, and got taken out, and that was a huge move. And then they kind of sold the numbers a little bit just because it was extended. But then once they regrouped, I'm like, okay, I could really go after this Bank of America. So that's how you connect the dots. And then yesterday, they started Goldman negative. I'm like, if Goldman goes green and pushes, all the banks are going to roar. So that's what I mean, looking for clues to whether or not you could add to things. And look at Goldman Sachs. This has been left for dead. And with that being said, it just broke above the 200-day for the first time. Kind of went to this old resistance, but this is just starting maybe a bit of a move. If the S&P and everything continues to rotate, maybe there'll be some deals, there'll be some IPOs, etc., etc. Morgan led the way 2 days ago. Look at that. Broke this little downtrend line and gave you some follow through. So again, I haven't traded banks in like 3 months, besides when I was short some of the regional banks and made some good money with puts. But if as a trader, you have to keep moving and look for where the calculated setups are, where you can define your risk. So anyway, let's just take a quick look at Tesla. Tesla, what's it called? I did have one extra call spread. I made it a lotto spread, so it wasn't a big deal. I made a lot of money in this name all the way from, this 169 area. Okay, that was right here. And then I did sell my shares. I never take stock into earnings. I take options because risk is premium paid. And so I had a lotto spread, 310 by 322s. I was risking $2 to make, almost 10. So I'll do that every day just in case it was another move, and there wasn't. So now we'll see what happens next. The 8-day is, what is it? What is this low here? This low is like 286. This area, 284. Okay, so this was the prior high. This was yesterday's high, 299.29. The numbers weren't necessarily bad. I told you they were worried a little bit about the margins, and he spoke a lot about his AI initiative and the automated driving and this and that. So at some point, we're going to find a pivot low after some price discovery. And if you look at Tesla right now, everyone's all worried and bloody murder. Tesla right now is at 281.30. This is 284, so it's below the 8-day. The last breakout area was what? 276-ish. Okay, and then 276-ish. So that's another spot. So it's below the 8-day. We'll see. 276-ish is right here. You could actually even go across. You could, not this. Take this. This would be another area. And then you have the 21-day, which would be another spot. So we'll see how it goes. So what you want to do the day after earnings is just let it settle, look for price discovery. Now today the question is, will Tesla make a low in the first 5-15 minutes, okay, that you could trade off? Like right now it's 281. Just say it goes to 280, comes back up to 281, and you see the market pull back a little bit and doesn't make a new low. Maybe you buy 281s versus 280, and then all of a sudden it goes and closes at 285. You have a nice trade. If for some reason it goes to 280, bounces to 281, market tries to bounce and it can't go anymore, it shows relative weakness, and it breaks that 280, you're out of the way, and then you let it put more price discovery. I probably won't be super duper active in Tesla today unless I see a real signal. So what does the signal mean? It means a divergence. It means, like, again, market continues lower and all of a sudden Tesla's not making new lows for a half an hour and it's going lower. Oh, look at that relative strength. Let me try it there. But again, we'll see. Here's 284, which it's below. Here's 276, and here's the 21-day, which it hasn't been below the 21-day in quite some time. So we'll see. For this trend to truly change, it's got to break and close below, that. Anyway, I will see how it goes, and I'm glad that we made a ton of money in this, and I'm glad I actually took the regular spread off because I risked less. And we'll see. It will settle out, and we'll see where we go next. Netflix, I told you guys, way too many higher highs and higher lows heading into the print. There was no play there. Some people went short. I just avoided it. If you look at Netflix, look at the size of that move. It's been leading this market up for quite some time right now. And at this point, Netflix is where? Netflix is down 30. So let's see what Netflix is. These are your two, your big news sources you can hear about all day long on CNBC. But so it's down 30. It's at 447. Where is 447? This is the 21-day right here is right there. So this is 440. This would be probably a spot to take a look at. All right, which is pretty close. To me, Netflix is sometimes loose and wide and a pain to trade. I'm going to just watch it also. Sometimes it's better just to let the stocks trade the day after earnings, give you points of reference, see what it did, so then you know how to approach it afterwards. Like if there's a huge hole in Netflix's stock, meaning like it opens down 30, tries to rally and can, closes down 40, there's going to be a huge gap there that we'll see if it stays unfilled to let us know that there's probably going to be more downside. Or does it open down 30 and close down 15 and fill a big portion of the gap, so it's like, okay, not that big of a deal, it just needs a rest. So those are some thoughts. Anyway, what's NVIDIA doing? Somebody just asked me. NVIDIA is down 3. Okay, NVIDIA, it was interesting how Musk spoke about NVIDIA a few different times. But anyway, it's not down a whole lot. I want to look at NVIDIA. Again, the AI was probably one of the most important portions of, the conversation, especially in tech recently. So this is the 8 days, what, 454? So see if that, it's not even close to there. So still kind of set up. Last time I traded, it was through this 432, went to 480, and now we'll see, does it digest above here? The low, 467, was yesterday's low, so it'd be pretty impressive if it could reclaim that, so we'll see. That'll give us some clues on whether or not really tech is going to take a digestion phase or really a real correction phase. So anyway, we did make a lot of money in some of the other names that I've spoken about. We had the little videos. Unity Software hit 50. I did trim a lot of my options, a lot of my stock, and I'm still in some. Tech's going to, so you have a little bit of a topping tail here, right? Get above and stay above. Got through 48.10, went to 50.08, which was a nice spot. Okay, I've been trying to be long this with options and something literally since here. This was 37 to 50. That's a nice move. So now what? I would say, again, you want to put the 8-day here. What's the 8-day now? The 8-day is like 45-ish. So I'd like to see it hold the 8-day. Sometimes it gets a little sloppy. I will 45-ish. It's an ish. It's a zone. I'll see. It was on scene. The CEO was on CNBC. That's cool. It was a great trade. I made good money in it. They were doing the beta version of their software. This morning it's probably down with tech. It's down 69 cents. Look at that. This is only here. It's only at 47.80. Not down a whole hell of a lot. And we've had a nice move. Really nice move. RBLX, a little bit more of a pain in the butt. An overshadow candle. I've been long from in here. I didn't sell any of my options. Did I get stopped out of my stock? I might have got stopped out of my stock through the low of the day yesterday, which happens. I was thinking it can get towards that 48-ish, and we'll see. At this point, if tech is going to correct, chances are, this might not. These haven't as big of moves, but still, if the tide and the computers are selling the Qs or whatever, then everything's going to be a little bit more of a wet blanket. So we'll see if like the banks get some of the flows, Oxy, and some of the energy names still in this big time channel. You had your first move up to 62, came in, retested this spot. So this is kind of wedging a little bit here. You can almost go like this again to see if are things going to really rotate into this sector or not. Still has a lot to prove. I know Warren's been buying a bunch of this, but anyway, it's getting pretty tight here. So we'll see if money leaves tech a little bit for a while, and does money go back to energy, which has really just been in this whole range. So there's been trades. It's not really been a trend. LCID, came out with the deliveries that were not great. Yesterday it was up a lot in the morning. I did have some. I remember I sold 50% of my options into this spot. Remember we were long this one from below. Like sometimes that's why it's really good to get involved early. Like we were in at like $7, $7.30. By the time I went to 8.37, those options were like I don't even know, a double or triple. I sold half, and then I kept half, and then you had a little red dog reversal here, and into that strength I sold a little bit more. And I'm sure if Tesla, it'll be interesting to see if like Tesla stays weak and money flows into some of the little or smaller EV names that might have more opportunities, or do they just sell the group? So that's like another question to think about. You always have all these if this, then that, if that, then this questions in your head, so you could adjust your trading, adjust your risk. That's what I do, at least. I have multiple scenarios, and I think about it, and I internalize them, and then I wait for the market to tell me which one is better versus listening to the idiots on TV. Remember this? Yeah, 2 days ago, everyone's like, the brains on CNBC are all talking about how Toast, is going to be the next best stock or whatever. And look what happened here. Gap down the day after, it was down 15% or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, do your homework, take accountability for your own trade. You push your keyboard, and just continue to make progress. And today will be an interesting day. Once again, guys are like, Red Dog, you don't need to make calls as a trader. I'm like, I know I don't, but I've been doing this since 1998. I've been on CNBC since 2008. I've been on Fox Business for the last 3 years. So every now and then, besides trading for cash flow and adjusting, they want my market calls. When the S&P was like at 4,100 or 4,200, I said we can go to probably 44 to 4,500. We might hit 45.75. Now, from my experience and watching, first of all, I've been long tech the majority. I'm like, yeah, this could be a little bit of a summer top. So I'm short a little Qs that I'll cover. I sold some premium, and we'll see what type of action we have today. It could be just a top this week until we get to Amazon, Google, and Meta next week, or Apple. But anyway, it was a better sell yesterday than get caught, and we'll see what today leads to. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck. I will post some charts a little bit as the day progresses. Bye-bye, guys.